Zionists are massively important. It is part of the reason why the Republican Party has always been a relentless dick rider of Israel in perpetuity. The reason for why the Republican Party cares about it, or the Christian Zionists specifically care about it, is because they believe Jews have to go to Israel. All Jews have to go to Israel and dominate that land so that Jesus Christ, and it sounds like a fucking anime when I describe it every single goddamn time, but it is the case, okay? Trust me. Jesus Christ is going to come back he's going to do the second coming. He's going to come back to earth and fight against the devil in Megiddo. This is what a shit ton of Christian Zionists believe. It sounds like a motherfucking D&D campaign, and they legitimately believe it. There are movies made about this. It is something that televangelists talk about quite frequently. John Hagee, the Hitler pastor who runs a massive mega church in the South, is one of the more prominent figures in this movement. American Christian evangelical Zionists are the number one, the largest donors to the West Bank settlement operations in general. This is something that is very profoundly important to the support, the unconditional support to Israel. Obviously, the major support for Israel comes from America's State Department interest, which is overall apolitical and just pro-capitalist. However, this is a very important way to generate momentum for this movement on the ground. Because if you've never been around a Jewish person in fucking Dallas, Texas, why the fuck do you care about Israel? You're anti-Semitic. Why do you care about Israel? Well, you care about Israel because all the Jews are going to go to Israel, and then Jesus Christ is going to come back, and it's going to suck you up into the heavens in the rapture, and everyone else, all the non-believers who weren't saved with evangelical Christianity, will go to hell. This, of course, also includes the Jews. Jews will also, if they do not convert to evangelical Christianity in that moment, also go to hell permanently, eternal damnation. So inherently, this is a deeply anti-Semitic prophecy. But of course, nobody like on the Israel side actually gives a shit or believes it. They just think, oh, great, we have so many fucking allies. And if you think that the number of evangelical Christian Zionists who do believe in the second coming and defend Israel on those boundaries is like a marginal amount, you are wrong. Now that we've established evangelical Zionism and why evangelical Zionists are such rugged allies to Israel, let's talk about their tactics. Evangelical Christians across the board, Christian fascists in general, are completely psychotic. They are way more aggressive than any other group, partially because they're very entitled. They run the country. The Republican Party is perfectly captured by them. So why shouldn't they do things like January 6th? Or why shouldn't they do things like have some of their prominent figures that sit on the Arizona Supreme Court, for example, Arizona State Supreme Court, for example, to come up with increasingly stupid fucking decisions like, making sure that abortion is criminalized across the board. But for that reason, I think in the upcoming months, if Christian Zionists are more activated to defend Israel and engage in counter-protest against against those who are protesting for Palestinian emancipation, protests will inevitably get more violent. It's always darkest before the dawn, and it will certainly get a little bit darker. However, in that process, I suspect that liberals will start getting negatively polarized, because the only way that liberals get on board with something is if Republicans are pushing those boundaries. Republicans have been awfully quiet about Palestine and Israel because they're letting the Democrats fuck it up. Some of them have started chirping more and more in the unconditional defense for Israel, Mike Johnson being one of the few individuals who's very prominent in the Republican Party. So you will now start seeing, at first, more aggressive counter-protests, because the Zionist counter-protesters right now are usually, some Jewish students, maybe some Christian students in general, but like it's marginal, it's tiny, right? Not everybody wants to go out and be like, no, I actually do love apartheid and fuck you. However, Christian Zionists do not have those hangups. They fucking will go to those protests and they will get violent. And when that happens, liberal mainstream media will react this is my speculation, they will react in the same way they did when Donald Trump positioned himself as an BLM president. Here's Ben Lorber talking about this issue. A big reason Christian Zionists often fall beyond the radar and reach of the organized Palestine solidarity movement, at least compared to American Jewish Zionists, is that Christian Zionists rarely mobilize directly against the movement on the streets. That may be changing. Here it is, by the way. New York City for abortion rights, all out for Palestine tomorrow. Zionist Christo-fascist Sean Fucht and his cronies are coming to New York City. They do not care about the safety of Jewish people, and they certainly don't care about Palestinian lives. Who are Christian Zionists? They are evangelicals who believe that God promised Israel only the Jews, and that an apocalyptic war will bring about Jesus' second coming when they claim all Jews will go to hell. The reason why I think Christian Zionists are getting activated is because the Hasbara operations are failing. So when the Hasbara operations are failing to captivate the broader subsects of American society, they're like, well, we have to push back. We have to do a show of force. This is a last-ditch attempt. It is a last-ditch, desperate attempt for Israel defenders to try and do a show of force and bring about numbers. If this momentum grows on the Christian Zionist front, this will absolutely cause liberal outlets to finally take a way more aggressive stance against Zionism as a whole. This is wee-woo speculation alert. Just everything I know about politics, everything I know about how liberals operate, everything I know about how the media operates. I know that the fucking media absolutely loves nutty right-wing weirdos getting active and beating the shit out of students. They will cover that endlessly. They will talk about how racist these guys are. They will talk about how anti-Semitic these guys are, okay, which many of them are, for the record. Here is Ben Lorber covering more this guy Fucht. On last night's live stream, Christian nationalist organizers of today's United for Israel March in Columbia explained that they're actually excited about rising anti-Semitism. It's a sign the end times is near and Jews will convert to Christianity. Here is rally leader Sean Fucht.
And as you know, we're seeing this rise in this flood of anti-Semitism across the world. Yes, these are the end days. I know people say all the time, everyone's saying it's the end days. Jesus said it was the end days 2,000 years ago. Well, it is the end days. And we're one day closer to the return of Jesus. And as that ramps up, we're going to see a rise of evil. We're going to see a rise of glory. And we're going to see a rise of hatred for the Jewish people. And I think right now in America, I would have never imagined we would be at a place.
Look at how excited he is, bro. Yeah. Yeah, anti-Semitism is popping off. It's great. It's like, yeah, it is, dude. It's because you're activated. I mean, I agree with you, but there's something kind of different. The George Floyd murder was quite shocking to a lot of liberals. While I think the genocide should have activated more people, the libs are more insensitive now. No, brother or sister, sorry. You're wrong. Because liberals didn't get negatively polarized against Donald Trump after George Floyd. They got negatively polarized after Donald Trump shit on Colin Kaepernick. That's not where it started. That's where the momentum finally hit its largest point. It hit its peak. But liberals started covering Black Lives Matter in a positive fashion after Donald Trump shit on it, after Donald Trump shit on Colin Kaepernick. I know this because I am a chronicler of American radical protest in some ways, because I've been doing this for the past 10 years. I've been an advocate for BLM under the Obama administration when Obama was very critical of Black Lives Matter, said that they were behaving like thugs, as a matter of fact. So back then, even the Podjohns, if you recall, were openly antagonistic to Black Lives Matter. You probably do not recall this, but BLM didn't start under Donald Trump. It started under Barack Obama. It started with Ferguson. Here's another rally leader, Russell Johnson, explaining he stands with Israel because the country serves as a redemptive sign. Proof positive that the fast approaching end times will bring about massive souls turning to the Lord in the nation of Israel. These are Jews' supposed allies.
At a minimum, we have to love. And I think not only does God love the nations of the earth, plural, but he loves in specific Israel, and Israel will serve as a redemptive sign. It will serve as proof positive that God is faithful to his covenant, faithful to 1,000 generations, that as we move closer to the return of the Lord, that great day of his return, we will see massive harvest, massive revival, massive souls turning to the Lord in the nation of Israel. And it will serve as a sign that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is faithful even unto his remnant people today. And so for me,
Hey now, Reagan Bush 84 is a fire hat. I own one as well and wear it sometimes. How is this not delusion? It is delusion, but it doesn't matter. It's